The Mustang Mach-E is an amazing all-electric crossover SUV, and it's been around for a few years, since 2021. But Ford, they're not going to let this product go stale. More recently, we've seen Ford get creative with the Mach-E, and today we're going to talk about the Rally Edition. Hi, this is Joe from Way Scarff Ford. Today we're going to talk about this 2025 Mach-E Rally. Let's dive in. This thing is super cool. Immediately, we'll notice these Rally-inspired wheels. We can see Mach-E Rally right on the side. We have a more aggressive front fascia, splitter on the bottom, integrated fog lights. We also have an inch higher ride height. And supposedly Ford added some extra underbody protection to the Mach-E Rally in case you encountering a few stray objects on some off-road excursions. Obviously, this thing's not designed to go rock crawling like a Jeep Wrangler Rubicon, hence the name Rally. This thing is designed for some performance driving on dirt and gravel roads. I was brushing up on my product knowledge, and Car and Driver tested the 2024 example of the Mach-E Rally right in our own Tacoma Valley, where they have a rally school. And this also has exclusive drive modes where normally the stability control system is going to cut out the fun when the car wants to start going sideways and let the tail wag a little bit. Well, with the Mach-E Rally, you get exclusive drive settings that allow the stability control system to loosen things up a little bit, to have some fun drifting the vehicle around corners and stuff while still keeping it safe. Relatively speaking, it can't overcome stupidity or the laws of physics, but it will do a great job preventing you from spinning out of control when you're doing some spirited driving on dirt or gravel roads. We can also see we have some other exclusive details, like we have this cool spoiler mounted on top in this nice matte black. This looks really nice with its black exterior. On the inside, we can see some exclusive details too. I can see these white accents on the inside. We have a unique badging on the inside. I love these white contrasting colors on the steering wheel. And then if we look at the back of the front seats, we also have these white accents on it as well. And since we have no engine here, we have a frunk which gives you a little bit of cargo space. And we notice that the frunk actually has gotten a little smaller versus some of the earlier Mach-Es. So what's the deal? Why has Ford punished us with a smaller frunk? What's up with that? Usually things are supposed to get better, not get worse as vehicles get older and supposedly improved upon. Well, it actually has been improved upon. The reason why there is less space in the frunk is because now the Mach-E has a heat pump. Just like a heat pump in your house, a heat pump's gonna make this vehicle a lot more efficient when operating in colder weather. So if you drive in below freezing or below zero weather, by the way, this might also be a great winter rallying machine too. The heat pumps makes it far more efficient. With a gas car like this Ford Escape here, one of the great dividends of engine is excess heat. So you can use the excess heat from the engine running to heat the interior. But that's not the case. Electric motors don't make enough heat to heat the interior. So you need to draw heat from the high voltage battery, which will affect the range. But the heat pump, like I said, the heat pump in your house, it heats the vehicle much more efficiently than a conventional heater, and it makes it much more efficient in colder weather. Big deal. When you operate in colder weather, definitely seek out an EV that has a heat pump. It makes a big difference. Aside from these unique wheels, Mach-E Rally gets these Michelin cross climate tires, which are great in all sorts of climates: dry roads, wet snowy roads, dirt, gravel. It's a great compromise for all sorts of terrain. Very comfortable supportive seats, nice bolstering in there. So the Mach-E Rally is based off the Mach-E GT, which is a performance version of the Mach-E. There's also a performance upgrade you can get on the Mach-E GT. The Rally version, which is the range-topping version of the Mach-E, the most expensive, most opulent, best performing, also gets that performance upgrade. So normally the Mach-E GT makes 480 horsepower and about 634 pound-feet of torque, but the performance upgrade, as well as a Rally Edition, which this one is, it still makes 480 horsepower, but the torque is bumped up to 700 pound-feet of torque. That's like a diesel engine. 0 to 60, 2.7 seconds. Compared to the Dark Horse, which is the fastest gas version of the Mustang, the Dark Horse does 0 to 60 a little over 3 seconds, and the quarter mile right around 12 seconds. This does a quarter mile in under 12 seconds. So the Mach-E with the performance upgrade and the Mach-E Rally actually out-accelerate 0 to 60 and the quarter mile the Dark Horse Mustang, which is the fastest gas version of the Mustang, traditional Mustang you can buy. And a lot of people, including me, thought how sacrilegious it is for Ford to come out with a crossover SUV that's electric with Mustang badging on it. What's up with that? You know, you have 60 years of tradition of the Mustang being a two-door, front-engine, rear-wheel drive, gas-powered vehicle, typically, you know, with a V8, a powerful V8. Why would you do this? Well, in execution, it actually makes a lot of sense. I think the Mach-E is absolutely beautiful. I love, you know, obviously I work at a Ford retailer, but I'm a big Tesla fan. I've driven a Model 3 for 3 years. I also have a Ford, but my daily driver is a Model 3. I'm a big fan of Teslas. And Tesla does have advantages, you could say, you know, software and other things, you know, over other EV companies, but the Mach-E is absolutely beautiful. I think it's one of the prettiest crossover SUVs in the road. And the crossover SUV is hard to make look good. It's a big egg jelly bean shape on wheels. It's not as sleek and sexy as a Cooper sedan, but Ford did a great job, and it's pretty smart because guess what are the best-selling vehicles in the whole entire world? Crossover SUVs. The Model Y, best-selling vehicle in the whole entire world, not best-selling EV, best-selling vehicle in the whole entire world, full stop, for 2023, 2024, and it looks like maybe even 2025. So yeah, it does make sense to have a crossover SUV as one of your first all-electric vehicles. And this is pretty much from the ground up designed to be an EV. You know, Ford has had some other EVs in the past, like an EV Ranger, EV Focus, but those were gas vehicles retrofitted to be EVs. You're gonna have to make compromises. It's not gonna be anywhere as good, where the Mach-E was made from the ground up to be an EV. And the price point, the fit and finish, the features, the luxury, the quietness, this is on par with something from Europe, like a BMW or Mercedes. This is not comparable to other Ford products. You can see these Bronco Sports and these Escapes over here. Even the most fully loaded versions of the Escapes and the Bronco Sports, as nice as they are nowhere near as luxurious, fast, or smooth as the Mach-E. The Mach-E is a different level. But yeah, the Mach-E is tremendous, and don't take my word for it. Car and Driver magazine, they absolutely love the Mach-E. They give it very, very high ratings. Beautiful interior. We have this nice contrasting colors, this kind of black lacquer piano finish. Nice contrast stitching, beautiful leather trim seats with this nice suede type material in the middle. Leather up wheel feels wonderful in your hands. You have a nice little gauge cluster there. Big vertical screen with lots of information. And it has this analog wheel. The one thing on my Tesla is like, sometimes it's hard to make temperatures, but you just hit that once and then you can use the analog wheel to adjust the temperature. You're not gonna have to just go like that all the time. So, you know, Ford's trying to be a little creative, think outside the box, not completely copy Tesla. So that little rotating wheel is a nice touch. We have the nice big screen, fantastic parking cameras. They've also added YouTube. You can't watch it while you're driving, but you can watch YouTube. It has a 5G internet connection that you can sign up for. You're getting 5G jetted beamed to the car. Obviously, you have Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, navigation. We have our drive mode selector. You have Whisper, Engage, and then a Bridle, which certainly is like the high performance version, and then there's Rally Sport mode, and it's cool. It makes kind of these little cool little noises when you put it in rally mode. You can also have fake engine temps. You can shut it on and off. Obviously, it doesn't have an engine, so you know, sometimes it's fun to have a little bit of noise to enhance the driving experience. So it's up to you. You can shut it off, turn it off, turn it on. One pedal driving. So you can turn it off and it will just basically drive and coast like a regular gas-powered vehicle, or you can drive with one pedal. So when you remove your foot off the accelerator, it makes the regenerative braking more aggressive. So you can actually drive it with one pedal. Just modulating the throttle, you can come down to a complete stop. And some people don't like it, but we're just conditioned to like or know how gas cars feel. So people don't like the change. But the reason why the vehicle slows down when you move your foot off the accelerator is that we're having regenerative braking. It's not using the brakes to slow down the vehicle, it's actually using the electric motors. It's reversing the polarity of the electric motors, and it's putting that energy back in the battery. So normally all that heat, all that energy you lose through heat through braking, you can recapture that kinetic energy with the regenerative braking and put it back in the battery, and that's what makes EVs that much more efficient. This has a fully charged range of about 260, 270 miles, but it only holds, the battery in this thing only holds the equivalent of maybe about the energy equivalent of about 2 to 3 gallons of gas. These crossover SUVs over here, they're not going to go more than 200 miles on 2 to 3 gallons of gas, but because EVs are so much more efficient, they're much more efficient with the energy that they have. That's why you're able to go 250 miles on the equivalent of 2.5, 3 gallons of gas worth of energy. So those people, those naysayers that say, well, you know, even though you charge your EV, even though you have an EV and it doesn't use gas, the energy that you use to charge the EV with is dirty energy. Well, that might be true, but like I said, the energy that this Mach-E uses, it uses it much more efficiently than a gas-powered vehicle, whether it's gas or if it's energy from a coal or natural gas plant. The other cool thing about the Mach-E is they've done away with the unsightly door handles. You just have these nice little buttons right here to open and close the door. You have this little grab handle there. Back here, no grab handle. Nice, clean, beautiful lines. You just hit that button right there. The door pops open, and then there you go. Nice spacious rear seat accommodations. Nice styling on the rear. We can see some design cues from Mustangs from the 60s, like the vertical tail lamps. It really looks nice. Power rear liftgate. And unlike a regular Mustang, which is a 2-door coupe, this is a practical 4-door crossover SUV. Lots of cargo space here. And of course, you can fold down those rear seats for more cargo space. So you get Mustang-like performance and acceleration. You have a little rallying machine, winter rallying in the snow, dirt, gravel. You can have some fun in this thing. We have so many cool forest service roads here in the Pacific Northwest. I would have a ball in this thing. And it's meant to do this. It's designed to do that. You're not gonna hurt it. It's pretty cool. It looks cool. It drives cool, and it's very practical and efficient. The thing too with these EVs is that they have so few moving parts, you're not gonna have the same maintenance. Think about a Mustang is gonna need maintenance. It's got that big 5-liter V8, it's gonna need, you know, oil changes, it's gonna go through brakes pretty fast. You might have to do a clutch replacement if you're being aggressive with a gearbox. You know, a regular gas-powered Mustang has thousands of moving parts. This has dozens. You know, the technology it takes to make a battery is complex, but once you have that stuff made, it's actually fairly simple. It's like a power drill or an appliance. There's only dozens of moving parts on this Mustang Mach-E. So there really isn't that much to go wrong with it versus a gas car. You know, for maintenance, it's basically rotating tires, changing filters, wiper blades. That's pretty much it. With the regenerative braking, you're gonna probably get 150,000+ miles out of the brakes. You're not gonna have timing change, you're not gonna have emission control systems, far less complexity. So the maintenance costs on this Mach-E are probably more along the lines of like a Toyota Corolla or a Toyota Prius, not a premium vehicle. Like, remember, we're comparing this to like a BMW or Mercedes as far as features and technology goes. Fit and finish. Think about how much it is to service a BMW or Mercedes at a BMW or Mercedes service department. Where here you have like Ford Focus levels of maintenance costs. And then think about performance. You know, you have supercar performance, 0 to 60 in the 2-second range. That is amazing. You know, over 700 pound-feet of torque, 480 horsepower with hardly any maintenance to do. No expensive oil changes, no complex turbos or supercharging or hybrid systems combined with gas engines, combined with superchargers and turbochargers, which other manufacturers are doing to try to eke out as much horsepower from a gas engine. But we've pushed gas engine technology as far as it can. We've been making gas engines for about 100 years. We've had millions and millions and millions of dollars invested by all these big manufacturers to make them more powerful, more efficient. And we've pretty much pushed it to the limit where I see gas engines just having more issues than ever because they're more complex than ever. So now, you know, the battery technology has gotten to the point where it's ready for the mainstream. The best-selling vehicle in the whole entire world is an EV. So for those who say that, you know, EV technology hasn't gotten to the point yet where it's ready for mainstream, it has been here since 2003 when the Model Y became the best-selling vehicle in the world, and that's an EV. And this is basically a direct competitor with the Model Y. Well, there's my little long-winded spiel, my little long-winded walk around of this 2025 Mach-E Rally. We're Way Scarff Ford. We've been in business 103 years. We sell new Fords, new Isuzus, and a very wide variety of proven vehicles. Thanks for watching. If you're watching on YouTube, please like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.